lack of confidence comes from a deep-seated belief, and what happens is that belief then sends signals to our conscious mind, and then we'll communicate with ourself in a way that validates the belief that we're not confident. And when we communicate with ourselves that way, we'll then take actions to also validate that we're not confident. So it doesn't really matter why we're not confident in certain areas. You'll find yourself confident in some areas and then not in others. You don't need to gain confidence in all areas, only the ones that you'd like to. And so this video is to give you a few little tricks and tips as to how to gain confidence. Right, so we've got to recognize that the reason we're not confident is because of the way we're communicating, which comes from that deep-seated belief. So our view, our internal view of reality says that in that area, I'm not confident. And so when that area shows itself up in life, I'll move into a state of beingness where I'm not confident. Now remember, when the brain looks at the outer world, or when the brain imagines something, from the brain's point of view, it's the same, right? So the brain looks at the outer world, the room I'm in right now, and it's interpreted in the brain. Now, if I imagine the room that I'm in right now, it's also interpreted in the brain. So the brain doesn't know the difference between the outside world and the inside world. It doesn't have a right or a wrong. It's just like a computer, and so it's an input and then an output. So if the input is that we're not confident, the output will be that we're not confident. So what we've got to do is change the internal view of ourself, and this is how to do it. Okay, so it has to be a daily action, because repetition is the way we change the unconscious belief, because the unconscious belief is the way it is at this particular point in time. Now you can say a few times, no, I'm going to be confident, but there's a strong belief under there that says we're not confident. So we've got to change the neural pathways, and we've got to change the signals that come from the unconscious to the conscious mind. And when we do that, life can change for us. So this is what you do. I want you to imagine, if you do lack confidence in certain areas, I want you to imagine a house, a little house that you love, that represents you being confident. Now you're going to do this with your eyes closed, and you're going to do it imagining. When you get to that house, inside of the confident house, when you're inside of that, you imagine doing what you'd like to do as if you were confident. Now what will probably happen is the feelings that you have associated that represent you not being confident will come up. You'll have certain feelings that go, whoa, whoa, we ain't going to do that. We're not confident there, right? So for whatever reason, and there'll be a feeling of blockage, a feeling of fear, a feeling of angst, whatever the feeling is. As you get into your confident house, you're going to think of doing the thing as if you were confident, and then you look at the feeling that comes up that wants to stop you doing it. And you say to yourself, now that I'm in my house that is confident, or my confident house, I'm bigger than that feeling. And you look down on the feeling, and then you hold the feeling, and you say, I'm going to love this feeling anyway. I'm going to love it as if I would love a little baby. And you hold that feeling close to you and say, it's okay, even though that feeling's there, I'm bigger than it, and I'm in the house of confidence now. And then you imagine doing the thing that you'd like to do that would represent you being confident. And any time a feeling comes up that you're used to, the familiar feeling that stops you being confident in those areas, you look at it and you say, I'm bigger than that right now, and let me hold that feeling, let me pick that feeling up and love it anyway. So we're not trying to get rid of the feelings. If we try and get rid of the feelings, we create a power conflict within ourselves, and that is no good for us, because there's a struggle going on. We want to be able to be confident without thinking about it. And so we've got to recreate the unconscious, and you do it this way, right? So you put yourself in the house of confidence, you imagine doing the thing that you want to do. Now, if you can imagine doing it and you feel confident the whole time you're doing it. That's all you have to do, but you have to do it daily until eventually you'll do it in the outside world. But if feelings come up that have you afraid or anxious or stressed or whatever, when you think about doing the thing that you want to do as a confident being, if something comes up, you say, I'm bigger than that right now, and you pick up that feeling and you say, let me love you anyway. I'm going to love you. I am bigger than you, but I'm going to love you so that you are brought into balance. So you could imagine it's a baby and you're rocking it to bring it into balance. Have an absolutely fantastic day when you watch this. I look forward to talking to you again next time. Thank you.